Ladies and gentlemen, Jiri Prochazka had such an incredible performance at UFC 311. I'm sure you guys had questions like me going into that matchup. How could you not? After his last few fights, of course, losing twice to Pereira by knockout is devastating, not only physically but mentally. Like, getting to the top of the mountain twice and falling short is, I can only imagine, devastatingly defeating. So, I had lots of questions, not only for Yuri physically, like we said, after those two knockout losses, but just his spirit, his mentality, like how much left does he have to give? And how many, can he make these improvements that he drastically needs to protect his style, to protect the suit of armor that he wears into battle? He did a really spectacular job of proving me and a lot of other people wrong. Like, I thought Jamal Hill was going to be the more defensively measured fighter. The first round between him and Jamal Hill was Jiri Prochazka using beautiful, like, slip counters, like the sort of slip counters that Alex Pereira uses, where his hands are low and he's really pivoting his hips into the slips so he can come back with those devastating punches. He was landing them beautifully. Like, his elevation in his defense was spectacular to see. Someone who is more than 30 pro fights in his career, and like, he's had wars over his career, not just fights. Like, the guy is a warrior in the truest sense of the word. He comes every single time to kill or be killed. Like, not a lot of people can say that. And for him to be continually making improvements against a dangerous opponent, like, yes, this was a crossroads matchup. For Jamal Hill, there was a lot of questions coming in as well. But in terms of the stylistically, how I thought they would match up, Yuri completely proved me wrong. And Jamal Hill, the power difference in there was nuts. Like, it just goes to show you that Yuri is that swarm of offense that he brings into the cage. Like, there's one person at light heavyweight that can deal with that and fire offense back, which is more devastating and more powerful, and that is Poatan. Like, no one else can take Yuri's shots, and no one else can hurt Yuri. Jamal Hill hit Yuri with some clean shots, and there was a moment where he hit him to the body, and you saw a chink in that armor. You saw Yuri hurt, but he did such a good job of defending it. That poker face, playing it off. The guy has such an incredible chin, and don't get me wrong, Jamal's chin in there was special as well. The guy took some punishment, but you saw his face after the end of the first round. Like, the power Yuri is putting on these people, that offensive output, like I said, mixed in now with these defensive nuances that he's sprinkled into his game, Yuri already was a fan favorite, someone we love watching, and almost a superhero. Like, he's so authentic and so special in who he is that we can't help but be fans and just enjoy being along for the ride. And to see him not only win in spectacular fashion again in a vintage Yuri performance, but to answer so many questions, prove so many doubts wrong, and to come in advancing that skill set, being more defensively calculated, and his offense tonight was beautiful. Like, the third round, he reverted back to that old style, a little bit of just complete chaos, but I thought his accuracy, his boxing in that second round, that first round especially, was, very much so improved. And for someone in Jamal Hill, who I thought was going to be the better boxer, he outboxed him pretty easily and dropped him multiple times. Even fought through a pretty tough second round. Like, I thought Jamal Hill had a great second round, turned things around, and potentially won that round. But yeah, Jiri Prochazka, this was a vintage performance, and I think, like I said, the elevation in the game, all of the different wrinkles he's adding so late into his career, not into his career specifically in an age-wise, but the guy's had so many pro fights, and he's still hungry to evolve. His warrior spirit mentality, like I spoke about, is special. And it's, I think, part of what makes him as a character so special. So let me know what you guys thought about this vintage performance. Jiri is back. He calls out Poatan. Do we really want to see that a third time? Like, I think the Ankalaev Poatan fight, as one-sided as, a lot of us think that is potentially going to be. If Pereira wins again, does he move up? Like, can we give Jiri a third Poatan fight? I don't know. After 2 KOs where the first fight, there was some back and forth, but the second fight was an absolute shutout. It's just one of those cases where I think stylistically Pereira has his number because Jiri gets touched and you can't get touched by Pereira. Yeah, let me know what you guys thought about this performance, where Jiri goes next, because if he doesn't fight Poatan, like, could you imagine a fight down the line with some of these newer contenders, Carlos Ulberg? Like, that Ulberg and Blachowicz fight, I think, could set up potentially that next fight for Jiri Prochazka, but regardless, we shall see. The only thing I know is that I am going to be watching. I love this guy. What an entertaining fighter. I'm sure you guys feel the exact same way. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you could like, comment, and subscribe, I would really, really appreciate it. And we will chat soon.